Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your March 2021 money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. I will not be soliciting you for anything. Do not be scammed. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself become calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Pisces. March 2021, money and career, Pisces. March 2021, money and career, Pisces. March 2021, money and career, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay, so we'll see how far we get with everything that fell out. There's two there, this one there. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Fantastic. Okay, now let's look at your chakra energy for this time. Pisces. March 2021, money and career, Pisces. March 2021, money and career, Pisces. March 2021, money and career, Pisces. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. So we're going to start here with Mother Earth. This is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. And then we have Inner Child, which is the Heart Chakra. Very powerful. You have mother and child here, so that's powerful. We have the King of Swords and the Tower. That makes sense. We have the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The swords are air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the Page of Cups, which is you as a student, with the Four of Wands. And we have the Star, so strong Aquarius energy coming out. Aquarius is also an air sign energy, so represented by the swords in the minor arcana and the star in the major arcana. So if you are born on the cusp with Aquarius, or if you have Aquarius within your chart, it's coming out super strong during this time. And then we have the Hanged Man. Okay. You have learned through disappointment, heartbreak, and pain, which is how we human beings learn, right? You have learned how to be incredibly strong, or are embracing a strength you never thought you had. You might have looked at yourself, Pisces, and thought, failure. Like, seriously, just sat there and fell into a depression, felt so overwhelmed, thought, I can't possibly. But there's a strength to you here that it's like, I'm starting to taste success, or I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and now there's a ferocity to me that cannot be held back. And that's what we're embracing during this time. We're embracing this ferocity. And it can be very off-putting because Pisces, you're a very calm, gentle, peaceful sign. That's your thing. Your thing is to live in calm waters, and to want to live in calm waters, and to embrace serenity, and to look at fear for the fierce light shiner that it can be. The fierce look at what it is that holds you back and then overcome. And that's your thing. That's part of who you are. And so during this time when we have the Earth Star Chakra right here, and we have ourselves connecting to the roots of who we are, to what we desire, to the Earth Mother. Now, when we think of Mother Earth, when we think of Earth Mother, when we say, oh, she's an Earth Mother, or that person's an Earth Mother, it's like they are kind, and they're giving, and they're sensitive, and they have this connection with the earth and the soul and everything like that. Great. That's our interpretation. The world is far different. When we look at Mother Earth, she's fierce. She provides, yes, but she provides for the kindest of animals, right? The most loving of beings, and also the most dangerous. And she does so equally. She is the warmth and the perfect temperature for existence, and the change of seasons, and the sunshine and the soft grass. And she's also hurricanes and tornadoes and blizzards and, frozen ice and thin ice and everything that is treacherous and everything that is beautiful. There's a dichotomy here. There's a don't forget the underbelly. Don't forget what isn't easily seen, because there's a fierceness that is being embraced, and we can see that so distinctly here. And it's saying, listen to your nature. Listen to the earth, because she is not always quiet and caring and meek. And then we have the inner child. There's also a connection here with the mother and the child, with the provider and the dependent, okay, with the nurturer and the nurtured. And with the heart chakra, there's a need to embrace your inner child, to look at what your heart desires and say, I see the person I once was. And depending on how things have gone in life, this can be a person that we're running so far away from, we don't ever want it to catch up with us. But the inner child is always the shadow that is right there. It's always the place our hearts first go to the child that we once were, to the pains that we carried since we were very small. And so if we just visualize ourselves opening up our arms to the child we were, and letting that child run into our arms and saying, you're safe, you are secure, I love you, and I will always love you. I will always listen to you, and I will always be there for you. That is giving our inner child validation, compassion, stability that it didn't have, that we didn't have all the time. And you could come from the best home in the whole entire world and the most lovely life, and still your inner child will need to hear this. There's a fierceness to this time, Pisces, which again, it kind of goes against the grain. But it's not saying here that you're weak. It's saying here that you can take a lot before you get mad, before the top blows. The King of Swords is the warrior king, is the person who says, I'm not taking this. I'm going after what I want. I'm going after what I need. I'm looking at the bigger picture, and I'm fiercely fighting for where success is. It could be a little bit more business-minded towards things. What needs to be done? How do I need to do things? What am I opening up to myself? What is it that I desire? And it's like, oh, I see. So here, with the King of Swords, there's a ferocity to you. There's a cutting through the nonsense. Because the swords, we have to remember, the swords are a little bit special. Because the swords are the only weapon. And you could say, I don't want a weapon, I don't like that. But we need to be armed in life. We just do. We need to be smart. We need to be, stepping into our power instead of meekly just, going with the flow and seeing, not even going with the flow, letting others decide for us our future. The King of Swords is saying, I know my truth. I know what I desire. I stand center stage. And I am bringing forward my blessings. I am bringing forward my truth and my power. And that's exactly what we're doing. The sword is a sign of nobility. It's a sign of success and prosperity. And that's what's being embraced. And it's after a time when your life was turned upside down. A tower time. Now, this tower time you might have gone through years ago, but the scars of it show up, as the scars of tower times tend to do. This can also be the tower times going through now, is now. And you're looking at being pushed so far out of your comfort zone. It's like, where do I stand? What do I stand for? What do I want? What do I need? Where am I going? The tower is divinity's way of saying, I don't want you in this spot anymore. It's not right. And divinity whispers it to us, gives us easy ways out, kind of says, okay, let's go this way. But because we're human, I'm like, no, I'm comfortable here. What the heck are you talking about? I'm good. Thank you. And this is where we are just shaken out of the place that we didn't want to leave. And how we usually go to fix this is we also have to embrace the stages of grieving with a tower time. But how we go to fix this is not through force and not through, it will be done type of thing, like just angrily power through. It is going to be through compassion and understanding of self and looking at the hurts and the pains and seeing the way forward. I always think of the nursery rhyme Humpty Dumpty when I see the tower. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And that's quite true. Force and demanding does not fix. They didn't bring in the healers. They didn't bring in the doctors. They didn't bring in the people who could care for what had been shattered, who could lovingly put it back together. It will never be the same. We are never the same after a tower time. And though we might curse that and say it's not fair, there is something more that divinity is bringing forward. That if we were who we once were, if we didn't understand the scope of pain and ferocity of self, we would never be able to embrace the brilliance forward or see the complexities that lie ahead. And that's why here it's like, I've learned my lesson well. It's that song, I've learned my lesson well. You can't please everyone, so you have to please yourself type of thing. You have to look at yourself, care for yourself, look at what it is that you desire. This isn't in a nihilistic, egotistical way. This is in a way that says, but if I don't look out for me, who will? If I don't believe in me, who will? If I don't love me and see myself as successful, who will? And it brings us to the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords slays the dragon. The Knight of Swords goes after the happily ever after. Says, it is my time. I've honed my skills. I've learned my lessons. I've seen and I've discovered and I've become. And the Knight of Swords cuts through the doubts and the fears and, slays the dragon. And what is the dragon? But that point within us that hoards away our greatest blessings. Because what the heck? I mean, if we think about dragons, what do they need with gold and with maidens? Why would they torment a town and not just eat everybody? The dragon is the symbolic symbol of what takes away all that is dear and cannot be fought without great peril to the self. And when we are fighting our doubts and our fears, our inner monsters, we are fighting what is great peril to ourselves. What if we lose the fight? What if we can't get past the hurt? What if we get engulfed in the flames and can see nothing but pain and know nothing but devastation. People live their whole lives there in just sorrow and desperation. The Knight of Swords is saying, I'm the hero of this story. I slay the dragon, I cut through the poison of this world, and I ascend. I raise my energy vibration. I know my truth. I embrace my knowledge and my power. Swords made people. Okay? It changed the lives of people back in ancient times, medieval times and before. And so here, when we look at the sword, we see an elevation of status. Not because all of a sudden we become lords and ladies, but because we see ourselves more clearly. We look at ourselves more fiercely, and we understand ourselves more truly. And we look at the battle. And we might be upset at ourselves, like, why couldn't I fight this earlier? Because it wasn't time. Divine timing comes in, and we start to become students of our prosperity because we've changed the game. We've become more business-minded. We look at things instead of, being suckered in. We look at things more logically, more, distinctly, more precisely. And we become students of our prosperity, students of our abundance, students of the interconnectedness, and saying, oh, well, this could go like this and that could go like that, and I could ask this question, I could open up this door. It's like, how do I plant these seeds? How do I let prosperity grow within me? What is it that I desire? How is it that I move forward? So we become students of wealth. And you might see yourself during this time, like taking on something new, or picking up something that was once forgotten. Like you thought, oh, it's not really for me. And now you're looking at it and it's like, I've changed, and I could do what I once couldn't, what I once wasn't ready for. This is a warrior time. I mean, this isn't a time where you're going to sit on your laurels. Well, if you do, there's going to be a part of you that's like, oh my gosh, I should be doing something more. This is a time where it's like, go for it. Go for it. See what happens. Because you have the student mentality of, I can learn. It's the true student mentality, not the mentality of, I know everything, you don't need to teach me, I got it. But the sense of, oh my gosh, I could fill an ocean with everything I do not know, everything I do not understand. And so here you're going to find yourself getting inspiration from the most unlikely of places. Here, he's talking to a fish in a cup. Not a fish in the ocean, but a fish in a cup. It's capturing and focusing on one thing and building off of it. Looking at something new and watching it grow, watching it become. And it's like, oh, it's finding inspiration where you didn't think there would be inspiration. It's looking at things openly and honestly for yourself. It's asking questions. It's discovering. It's listening to your heart and saying, why do I feel this? Why do I moving forward this way? There are things that are coming forward that will lead to future success, right? But you're planting the seeds for it now. You're studying it now. You're watering it now. You're seeing it now. And it brings you to new business ventures. It brings you to new paths forward. It brings you to looking at things quite differently. And it's like, oh, could that be it? The Four of Wands is, and they all live happily ever after. But I love the angel right up here, or, the fairy, however you want to see it. It's like in meditation, contemplation, and then arising, a confidence as you spread your wings, as you hold your head up high, shoulders back, and say, this is what I want. This is my truth, and this is my desire, and this is how I move forward. And I'm looking at things in a way I hadn't seen them before. I'm celebrating me in a way I hadn't. And as we do this, and as we say this, and as this resonates within us, we can see new pathways open, new job opportunities starting to make themselves clear, things that lived within us as dreams becoming reality. It could be moving house. It could be, working hard and saving up and seeing that you're able to buy your own house. If you look at your dreams, if you look at what it is that you want, or the place that you wanted to live that you always thought was out of reach, things are starting to kind of align. It's because of the ferocity. It's because of the warrior within you, where things are aligning, where it's like, but I can have this. I can do this. And the main aspect of it is not because you've become all of a sudden overnight better, but it's because I want it. I want it with a single-minded focus that is astounding, and it leads us to the star. This is the highest form of man's perfection. This is our desires and our hopes and our dreams and our wishes. This is what our soul longs for. A wish comes true. But it's a soul's wish. It's not the cross your fingers wish. It's a deep, heartfelt soul's wish that opens up the door, that has us looking at new things, that has us moving forward in a different way. There's a sense of seeing the waters converge, all merging together and becoming more than what we realized. We're seeing our talents merge together. And instead of it being like, well, I'm talented at this over here and that over there, and I don't really know about this, it's like there's a ferocity, there's a single-minded focus that becomes more. And it leads us to the hangman. It leads us to changing our point of view. It leads us to understanding that, yes, I'm different, but so what? So what if I don't act like everybody else? So what if I don't ask the same questions as everybody else? So what? I get to find my wings and my halo. I get to embrace my angelic truth. I get to, look at things and see a new light, see a new coming together, understanding more deeply and more positively and more honestly my soul. The hanged man is saying, I don't see the world the same way you do. And it's realizing inwardly that there's nothing wrong with that. Because so often we think, what's wrong with me? I don't see the world the same way everybody else does. And now it's, don't give me your world, because it's less than mine will ever be. Your subconscious chakra message is abundance at your root. Abundance, when Spirit talks about it, is not necessarily that your life is supposed to be like Scrooge McDuck and you're diving into a whole big thing of gold. It's to embrace an abundance of prosperity and wealth, or what you value as much as money. It's saying that there's a richness to your life, that at the root of you are starting to see and you are embracing. And it brings you to the subconscious tarot message, which is the King of Cups. Subconsciously, you are turning from a student to a king. And the King of Cups is my favorite king. Him and the King of Swords. I like the way they combined. And so you have my favorite kings right here. The King of Cups says, I rule only me. And when we see a king, I think he has so many subjects, so many people he rules over. But for me, the King of Cups knows that he rules only himself. He can only tell himself what to do. He can only make sure that he follows the rules he sets out for him, and calls himself out on when he doesn't. We can try to rule other people. We can give them guidelines and, tell them what to do, but they still have their free will and their own self. And they will still do what they want to do. Even the smallest of children. The only person we rule is us. And the King of Cups says, do it well. Do it so that you're an example. Do it so that other people see and go, oh, that is what I want to be. There's an essence, there's an air to the King of Cups that I personally feel would promote envy in all the other kings. Because he isn't leading an army, but he's changing the course of his whole entire life. Because he knows that there's only one person sailing the ship. There's only one person embracing it all. And that is him. It is a life simply for you, Pisces. Well, that was intense. All right, Pisces. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we claim power after our world has been shaken. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces.